Hello everyone, hope you are doing well. I'm Reza, founder of the optimizationct.com. In this presentation, we are going to learn how to formulate the dual model in linear programming with the simple example. Let's get started. In this presentation, we will first introduce the linear programming model for this problem. Then in the next section, we will explain how to construct the dual model based on our original formulation. Now let's define the linear programming model we are working with. This model consists of three variables x1, x2, and x3, and three constraints, constraint number 1, constraint number 2, and constraint number 3. Once we understand the structure of this model, we can begin constructing its dual formulation. To formulate a dual model, we follow a structured approach as follows. Since the original model is the maximization form, the dual model will be a minimization model. So we have minimize. Let's formulate the first constraint in the dual model. The coefficient of x1. So let's write first the dual variable for first constraint, dual variable for second, and dual variable for third constraint. First, we write the objective function. Objective function is right-hand side of the original model times the corresponding dual variable. So we have 10 times y1 plus 12 times y2 plus 40 times y3, subject to formulate the first constraint, the dual model, we do the following. The coefficient of the x1 in the first constraint, which is 2 of the original model, become the coefficient of the y1 in the first constraint of the dual model, and the coefficient of the x1 in the second constraint of the original model 2 would be the coefficient of the y2 in the first constraint of the dual model. And the coefficient of x1 in the third constraint becomes the coefficient of the y3 in the first constraint of the dual model. So we have y3. The coefficient of the x1 in the objective function of the original model becomes the right-hand side of the first constraint in the dual model. So we have 9. Since x1 is non-negative, this constraint is written as greater than or equal to. Let's write the second constraint in the dual model. The coefficient of the x2 in the first constraint of the original model becomes the coefficient of the y1 in the second constraint of the dual model. So we have 2y1 and minus 3. Oh, that's better. We have the same approach for second constraint plus y3. The right-hand side of the dual model would be 12. Since x2 is non-negative, the constraint is written as greater than or equal. And let's write the third constraint of the dual model. So we have 1 is the coefficient of the x3 in the first constraint of the original model become the coefficient of the y1 in the third constraint plus y2 here minus y3. The coefficient of the x3 in the objective function is 15. And because x3 is non-negative, so we have greater than or equal. Additionally, we must analyze the characteristic of the constraint. The first constraint in the original model in equality form. So, meaning the dual variable associated with it is unrestricted in sign. So y1 is free in sign, better. Free in sign. The second constraint in the original model would be greater than or equal, meaning its dual variable must be non-positive. So y2 is non-positive. And The third constraint, the original model, is written as less than or equal, meaning its dual variable must be non-negative. By following this rule, we successfully formulate the dual model for the original. In this example, we saw that if a constraint in the original model is greater than or equal to, its dual variable is non-positive. If a constraint in the original model is less than or equal, its dual variable is non-positive. And if a constraint is written as an equality, its dual is unrestricted in sign. Now, here is an interesting question to think about. What happens if a variable in the dual in the original model is unrestricted in sign? So here, what if x1 is unrestricted in sign? What will its corresponding constraint look like in the dual model? This is the very important question. So please share your answer in comment. Thank you so much for watching us. If you have any question or need assistance, feel free to contact us via email or through our website contact form. Do not forget to subscribe our YouTube channel to stay updated with new videos. Goodbye.